So, hi everybody, I'm Olivier. I'll be doing the presentation today, and my colleague Mark is here with me to help me answer some question if you have some. Also, since the pandemic, I haven't had a lot of opportunity to speak in English, so it might be a bit rusty. Please forgive me. So I'll take about maybe 45 minutes to do the presentation, and at the end we'll be available to answer your question if you have some. So, Boreal Tales, what is it? It's an app, it's a game to stimulate and encourage kids to write. That was the first goal of the game. Joseph, my coworker who had this idea, was doing comic book classes. He was teaching comic book to kids, and when arrived the time to write the story, the kids were often, I'm not good, I don't have any ideas. And I was like, that's impossible. Kids, when they play with their Legos, their Playmobil, or whatever, they create story, they have all those scenarios. So he had the idea to, he came up with the idea of Boreal Tales to stimulate and give the kids the taste for writing. Obviously, with the younger one, we will more work on words, vocabulary. But with the older one, 4, 5, 6 grade and over, we can really build stories with chapters and create a whole universe. There's two parts to the game. First of all, there's the website for the teacher where you could manage your group, your student, create challenges. Challenges is the cool name for a writing exercise. And there's the game itself where the kids go to play and to write. So I'll share my screen with you, and I'll show you. One, share. Okay, great. So this is the website for the teacher, but before that, I'll start just by showing you quickly the game, so you'll have an idea of what I'm talking about when I'll come back to the teacher's admin site. So the game, full screen. So I'll log in with my credential that my teacher gave me, like a student will do. So when the students log in, they arrive to the main menu. They have 3 options. My challenges, so the writing exercise, my group. Further, they'll be able to go read and visit other students' stories. And my avatar, kids love it, which will be used to explore my classmate writing task. So I'll create my avatar. Let's see, we have a lot of options here. I'll create myself. No backpack. So a lot of options available here. I'll just yeah, my Habs jersey, hockey stick. And a burger. Okay, so this is my avatar. Yay! I'll go back to my challenge real quick just to give you an idea of what the game is looking like. So this is all the writing challenge that my teacher created and pushed into the game. So there's a new one, Our Planet We Care About, the ones that are ongoing. and the ones that needs to rework, which are the ones that I send to my teacher. I submit it to my teacher, and my teacher do some correction and send it back to me. We'll see that a little bit later. So if I click on the new challenge or planet we care about it, I click on it, and I have all the instruction that my teacher left me. So you can really create anything you want for an exercise. So this is what my teacher asked me to do. Our planet is magnificent, but we must carefully not to pollute it and use it resources too much. Create a world in which you will name 3 actions that you do or that your family does to make a difference. So I'll click here to start playing. There's a reminder of what my teacher asked me to do. I could have wrote the title to my work. So basically, the student will have to create a world, place object, and characters on those islands. And I have the menu here for building stuff. Kids love to build. Like, this is why Legos still today are so popular, and Minecraft and SimCity when we were younger. So kid loves to build, and that's a great appeal for them. So I have my menu here. Everything is classed by theme, so urban, countryside, job, sustainability, sorry, at homes, animal, etc., etc. There's way more than that, but those are the theme that my teacher allowed me to use for that challenge. And I can filter it with housing, building, vegetation, animals, transportation, chainable stuff, so like roads and such, small things, and things with lights. So I really like to start with the road, a chainable thing. So I'll take it. And you see, it's very quick to build. It's not like Minecraft where you could spend hours and hours and hours building stuff. It's really, really quick. Choose a housing, a recycling plant, etc., etc. Same thing for a character here. I can put character, and every time I put something in the game, I could flip it the way I want to. And every time you put something, whether it is a character or an object, an animals, you could put a text on it. It could be a description, it could be narration, dialogues, really whatever. So you click on the object, then on the small speech bubble here, and you could enter text that will be linked to it. So this is street cycling. Yep. I have 7 words. So I continue to write my story, to write stuff according to what my teacher asked me to do. And when I'm done, what I will do, I just click here. Here's a reminder of the challenge. Click here, and I will submit it to the teacher. So yay, congratulations. Your challenge was sent to your teacher. So basically, this is the game. This is what the student will see and will do. But for now, I'll go to the teacher admin website here, and I'll log in with my teacher's credential. Of that. Okay, here we go. So on this website, I really manage my class. I can have a lot of group. Let's say I'm a second language teacher and I have 10 groups. I could create a lot of groups, or I could create subgroups depending on where my students are. So here I have 2 groups. I will go to Demo Nova Scotia. So this is where everything for you happen. You will create the challenges, push them into the game. You will do your correction on that too. So this is it. You will enter your student, give them credential. So I will start by creating a challenge. So I have my menu on the left side here. So I'll go see my challenge. And those are all not a good group. Oh, it's not a good group. Sorry about that. They want Nova Scotia. Okay, that make more sense. So I have all the challenges already created, and I will create a new one to show you how it's done. So create challenge for this group here. And then I can create one from scratch, or I can use a template. There's a lot of writing exercise already available that you just have to choose and to push into the game. You can modify them too. So create challenge from template. And now I can choose the grade level. I can filter it. So let's say 5th and 6th grade. School subject. French, history, ethics, mathematics, English, and science. It used to be a writing game, but we had more stuff in it, like social studies, history, science. So there's a lot of things you can do with it. But I'll go choose English here. And challenge type, I forget about it. I'll do writing challenge. For now, we don't have a lot of reading challenge, but we will add more and more in the next few weeks and months. So writing challenges. So there we are. So this is all the challenges that had been filtered. Let's say the mysterious garden. I'll click on it, view this template. So this is the instruction the student will see, like I showed you earlier. The learning intention, so enable students to write sentences that are properly structured and punctuated with the help of visual support, facilitate ideation and the creative process. Estimate time required 60 minutes. So I'll go edit it. So I can change the instruction if I want to. I can give more or less. And there's a lot of option here. Island, I've shown you earlier. It was a large island, but I can choose a smaller one if I want to reduce the building time. I can also choose a land where they will work on. And I will activate the write to build modes. I'll show you what it is in the game. This is a pretty cool tool. Actually, just to we had this to avoid that some kids just build stuff without ever writing. But honestly, the game works so well. Most of the kids really write by themselves. Usually, you don't have to activate it, but I'll show you anyway. I can ask a minimum of word, a maximum of word. Early in the game, it was only a minimum of word, but kids start to write so much that some teacher ask us, hey, can you put a maximum of word? Because there's a lot of things to review. So we had a maximum of word that the kids can do. I can limit the time. The game will block after a certain amount of time if I choose to. Mandatory introduction, conclusion. And the theme that will be available for the kid. I can choose the creative theme or the historic theme. So for now, I have all those that I will allow my student. I could choose more, but I'll leave it that way for now. So I confirm it, and I will activate the challenge. You can create exercise challenges and deactivate them. So let's say you have a day off. I know you don't have a lot of day off, but you have a day off and you want to create your exercise for the whole year or for a semester, but you don't want the kids to go start working on it. You can deactivate them so the kid won't be able to go work on it. Or let's say you are doing an exercise at school that you want to grade, but you don't want the kids to still work on it at home. At the end of the day, you can deactivate the challenge and it won't be available. So I'll create it, and that's it. So back in the game. My challenges. The mysterious garden. Here it is. So I will click here, and all the instruction my teacher left me, and let's go. Let's do it. And then I'll start to build stuff. I told you about the right to build mode. You might see that now every object I can put in the game has a number of stars. This is the cost of the object, and to gain stars, you have to write some text. Now, for this one, I've choose to give 3 stars for each word the student wrote, but I could have gave them 5 stars, 1 star, depending on their level. So I'll go with vegetation here, and I'll play some stuff for my mysterious garden. And the bigger the object is, the more star it will cost. Here's my bank on the right upper corner of the screen. I have a bank of 50 stars to start working. Same thing for the character. Let's say I have a guy with a chainsaw here. And as I build, the number of stars are going down. So here I am. I'll write something on that guy. I'll make a mistake here. Or then there we go. So I'm gaining stars by writing stuff. You see I'm back at 46 stars, and I continue until my my task is done. Let's see, what can I put here? Here we go. I'll add some text on it too. Okay. So let's say I've fulfilled everything my teacher asked me to do. I'm done. I'll submit it to my teacher for him to review it and correct it. So here we go. And once I send it to my teacher, I cannot go back work on it until my teacher send it back to me. It's like I put my paper essay on this front desk. I cannot work on it anymore for now. Yay, congratulations. So I have sent my work to my teacher, and now my teacher have to review it. I'll just refresh here. There we go. The Mysterious Garden. One student have sent it to me, so I'll go review it. Correct. So it's Liam. It's waiting for correction. So every object or character on which I have wrote thing on it will appear here. So you can shuffle from one, switch from one to another. And I have a lot of tools that I can use for my correction. So here, this tree, I could put the color I want on it, blue, green. I'll put it in red. Okay. I could also just sorry. I had a bit of difficulties with the paint tool. I'll deactivate it. Okay. There we go. I could leave a comment too in the comment section here. Let's say homophone. Is it a thing in English? So watch out for homophones. I had a feeling it's not right. It will do for now. Okay. And then when I'm done correcting every text my student has written, I will send it back to the student with the correction. If everything was all right, no mistakes or acceptable level of mistakes, let's say, I could publish student works, and then it will be available for the other kids to go walk around their island and read the story they have written. But for now, I'll send it back to my student. I could leave a general comment. Let's say, oh, good work, but watch out for punctuation or whatever. That's what I'll do. For punctuation, and I send it back to my student. So back on the game again. I'll refresh it. Newly corrected challenges. So I know that my teacher just sent it back my work to me. So I'll go back in there. So this is the general comment that my teacher left me here. And see the speech bubble here switch from green to yellow with a red exclamation point. So I have a mistake and I have a comment on it. I'll go check it out. Oh, tree is not written the good way, I think. Let's see what comments I have. Watch out for homophones. Oh, you're right. Tree. And then when I'm done, I'll just send it back to my teacher for approval. I'll submit it. So back to the menu. I've submitted it to my teacher. My teacher will either send it back to me with more correction to do, or said, okay, it's done. I'll put it public so every other student can go and see it. Or you could choose to end the challenge but keep it private if it's something like very personal, or if the student has written too much silly stuff and didn't want to change it. I could say, okay, your challenge is done, but I will not make it public. I will leave it private. What does it look like when a challenge is public? I'll go in my group. It's a pretty small group. So this is my teacher, and this is the other student of my class. We are 3 students, pretty small group. And I know that Olivia has finished 1 challenges. It's written here. So I'll go check what she's done. Oh, she's done a challenge about the Sugar Shack. So I'll click on it here. So this is what was asking of her to do. Spring is back. This also means it's maple sugar time. So I'll go read what Olivia has written. So this is Olivia's avatar. She greets me on her island, and this is mine. So the text here that's popping in is because it hasn't been written or on an object or a character. It has been written on the lending platform here. So every time someone shows up, the text just pop up like that. This is what this could be useful also for the older ones. You can ask them, hey guys, create a world, place your character, your object, but don't write on the characters or on the object. Just write me 1 paragraph per island, like you would do for a normal writing essay. Move your avatar. I can use the arrows or clicking. Also, the games work on pretty much everything, which is whether it is a PC, Mac, iPad, Android, Chromebook. So if you're on a tablet, you just click on the screen and the character will move. And as I approach character with a speech bubble on it, the character just pops in and it speaks to me. I wonder if mom and dad will let us sleep outside. Oh, in the igloo here. So I walk around and go read what Olivia has written. And when there's a text attached to an object and not a character, I have to go click on it to read it. So this is the shack where the bowl of maple water to get syrup and the taffy. It's also where we all get together to eat, etc., etc. So I walk around. I won't go read everything for now. And when I'm done, I just go through the small door here, and there's a conclusion text that Olivia has written on the door. There we go. I want to stop exploring. So this thing, knowing that my classmate and my friends will read my text, it's really is a great motivation source for the students. Like they are writing with an intention. They know they will be read not only by the teacher and not only for the grade, but by their classmate. So this is a really big incentive for the kid to put effort and love in their work. And the game has been out since 2007, and we had a lot of feedback from the teachers, and they really transfer their knowledge, their learning into others' writing exercise, whether it is in the game or not in the game. Because when they work in the game, they want to be published. They want that their writing challenge will be made public by the teacher. So they put extra effort in rereading themselves, doing the correction before sending it to the teacher. So for that, this is a really powerful tool for the student. I'll go back to my challenge here. I just want to show off a bit of our social study object. Where it is, the evolution of dueling. Because, like I said at the beginning, it really was just about doing a writing games, but we had a lot of social study themes in the game, because often teachers don't have an idea for exercise, or I know that in Quebec they do all those crafting to recreate a scene from the 16th centuries or stuff like that, and it takes months and months building Iroquoian longhouse with popsicle sticks and stuff like that. So we have a lot of themes. So there's a challenge here, the evolution of dwelling. Illustrate the evolution of dwelling in Canada over time by creating 4 models. Each will illustrate the dwelling in its environment for 4 different periods. So before the arrival of European settlers in the 18th centuries, beginning of the 20th centuries, and today. And for every situation, I have to write what is the function and use of the dwelling, etc., etc. So I'll show you. There we go. There's a lot of other functionality that you could use that I didn't show you. If I read the comments real quick, you can share class code to the parents and the teacher, like Mark said on the chat. So by sending the codes to the parent, they will be able to go visit his kids and other classmate work. You can share also your challenge to other teacher. Like you have a really nice idea, and that's gonna work well with my class. You can share the challenge to the other teacher, to your coworker. If I go see my challenge here, the mysterious garden I just did, I will click on share, accept. And I have a share code hit here. Got it. And same thing when I create a challenge, I can create it from scratch, like I told you, from the template like we did, or I can import a challenge that a coworker of mine have done. I just enter the share code, and it will be here. The last thing I wanted to show you before answering more questions. I'll log out. It really is about big story and chapters. I'll show you one on another account I did. It's gonna be in French though, but you'll get the idea, I hope.
While it's loading, Olivier, after you've done with that, if you want, because I've read all the comments and I can answer some of them afterwards. Instead of you going through all of the comments and reading them, I have a pretty good idea of what to answer.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go see in my group what Xavier have done. It's massive. A heroic quest. So we are in the medieval fantasy stuff. Like I said, we had a lot of theme: space, western, mangas, heroic fantasy, horror, but horror like more spooky, stuff like that. And I didn't have the opportunity to show it all to you because there's a lot of them, but you will have a good idea of our medieval fantastic theme here. So this is a story that has been written in 5 chapters. So 5 islands. It really is a massive one, so it take a bit more time to to load.
Yeah, maybe I can answer a question. Oh, okay, it's loading now, so you can go ahead, and then I'll answer some questions later on.
So this is Xavier. This is my avatar here, and like I said earlier, you can write your text or paragraph on the lending platform, and you don't have to add text on the character or on the object. In that case, what I did for each paragraph, each chapter, sorry, I wrote a text and I put some dialogues on the character to add to the story. So if I zoom out, there it is, and I walk around. I won't go read everything because there's a lot of it. I'll just avoid the crowd here. And if I go on the platform here, it's not a door anymore, just a platform. I'll cross on the next island, and then the story continue here. What I did, I just duplicate the island for that one. I didn't have to replace every tree, every character, every little stuff here. I just duplicated it. I moved the character and I wrote new text, new dialogues, and I choose to put it at night. And here we go. And then the story continue here. The prince has been kidnapped by orcs and Vikings. And then a new island, which take place in another place. So I build a new one, a new setup. And here I am walking around here. Also, my heroes party here are talking, the action is continuing, and I just duplicated them here further on the island to continue the story. So there's a lot of tricks I can use to really create a whole story, a complex one, etc., until I have totally finished. Oh, watch out for the big giant here. The orcs are mad, etc. I will not show it to you completely because there's still one or two items more. I'll go back to the menu.
Yeah, what I think is really nice here, Olivier, is what you just showed. Just actually maybe helps answering one of the questions that was in the chat. If you want, I can jump in with that, or do you got something?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty done with the main presentation, and
Sure.
we'll answer the question.
Yeah, you can stay on, and if you think of this stuff. So this is Mark speaking, by the way. I'm with NanoMonks also. I'm the president of NanoMonks, and it's really a pleasure to be here to show you this today. We're really proud of this of this game that we've created, and also very proud of the effect it has on the students' motivation in writing. One question we had from Gail, I believe, is that is it possible to indicate the order in which the texts should be read throughout the story? So there's many different ways of doing that, but I think what Olivier just showed you is the fact that you can split the story on different islands and put the bigger chunk of your narrative text on the beginning of each island as you go along. That really helps the kids to structure their world. And they can then use the texts that are associated with objects and characters, and they can use that only as, I guess, anecdotal or little dialogues to better illustrate what's going on. But really, the main text of the story is written on the beginning and the end of each island. So you really have basically a chunk of text there describing what's happening, what's the action. Then you have the island illustrating that action with a few texts here and there that could be descriptive, that could be dialogue, anything that can, or just little jokes here and there to further promote the story. Yes, however, other students, when exploring the world, they are free to roam around on an island as they wish. They have to move from one island to the other in the order they're presented, but on a single island, they can roam free. So, of course, they might not read it exactly in the same order, as that was intended by the original writer. There are a few tricks for that. You can guide, you can put fences and stuff like that. So basically, when you're walking around, you can't go where it's not intended for you to go. Some teachers also ask the students to put a number at the beginning of their text, indicating, well, this should be read first and this should be read second. So you really know in what order those texts should be read. So there's many different ways of going about that and making sure that the story is read in the appropriate order. Another question was from Laura concerning, is there a way to add challenges without having to go through the edit feature? Actually, when you select one of the challenges from our templates, you don't have to edit it. You can just accept it. You just go down and accept it as is. We felt that it was nice to let you have the chance to go through the edit. Maybe, if in our template we ask for a minimum 150 words, but you feel your students have more time and could write more than 250, well, you can edit that. But if you want to use it as is, you just go at the bottom and click confirm. And therefore, it's really easy to add challenges very quickly without having to go through the motions of selecting all of the parameters. You can't, however, select many challenges at once and submit them all at once. You do have to choose them one at a time. I'm not sure you want to have your students have a lot of different challenges active at the same time, because they might not know what to work on. So it's better to go at it one at a time and activate them when you're ready. For example, you could, prepare something for Christmas, for example, and then once we get closer to the holiday season, you can just activate it, and then it becomes available to your students. Let me see. I've answered already some questions in the chat, so if you want to go through the chat, you might see some answers there. One question here: can you have a co-teacher sharing the same set of students? So there's many ways of going about that. If you have, basically you use the same identifier, you can access the same account. And we do have some co-teachers, like two teachers that share their class together. And you could create two different groups, or you could put all of those students in one single group. There's many different ways of going about that. Just as long as you have enough seats for all of the students, then it's not a problem. You can do that either by sharing your teacher credentials. If you do not share your teacher credentials, if each teacher has their own credentials, then you will need to share the challenges as mentioned earlier on. That you can get the access code and provide it to your colleague, so your colleague can share with their class and they can go explore what your students have written. I see a question here from Laura. You see the confirm at the bottom after scrolling. Is it near the top as well? Can we check that out? If it's not, that's a very good point, Laura, and I'm pretty sure quite easy for our team to just add a button. So Olivier, when you create a challenge, either from scratch or from a template, let's take from a template, can you confirm the acceptance of the challenge from the top, or do you have to scroll at the bottom of the page?
I think we have to scroll at the bottom of the thing.
Okay. But I'm taking a note of that, because I mean, this is quite easy to add a button at the top, and that's something we can change here quite easily. Any changes that can be done in the teacher platform are quite easy for us to do, as it's a web page. The game itself is a downloadable application. That brings me to something else, meaning that your students can download it at home. And that's something that teachers love to do as well, is they provide their students with just for fun activities, for example, so that the kids, if they are at home and it's a rainy day or it's the summer, well, they can actually go and work on those challenges without, having to submit it to the teacher. They can just play at home. Because you can install the game from everywhere, and once the students have their credentials, well, they can just log onto their account from any device where the game is installed. So that's something that can be done. Did you have something to ask to add, Olivier?
Yeah, and like I said earlier, if you push a challenge in the game and you want to grade the challenge, but you don't want the parents to help out their kids, at the end of the day, you can deactivate the challenge. If I go check out my challenge here, I can deactivate them and reactivate the next morning when the kids come back in school. So in order to be sure that the parents doesn't help the kid on the work that would be graded. But you can add a lot of challenge still activated for them to play and to write at home too.
We have a couple of questions concerning Chromebooks. So Chromebooks, when they first came out, you could not download anything on them. The current versions of Chromebooks, you can actually download applications on them. And you know, from our discussions with EECD, this could be done with the Chromebooks being used in your schools. So actually, you can use the game on Chromebooks, but you still have to download the game on the Chromebook, and this can be done. We are currently working on a new version of the game that will be entirely online, but this is not available as of yet. And so, but it does work. We have a number of teachers and classes in Quebec here and in the rest of Canada that actually use the game on Chromebooks where the game has been downloaded. So it is possible to do that.
Speaking of downloading, Mark, I want to show you guys also our website, because this is the admin site, but we have a website with a lot of resources on it. If you go at borealtales.info, this is where you could have the link to download the game. There's a lot of tutorial, teachers tutorial, students tutorial. So like they're all here, which is reading challenge, correcting, adding students, like really everything you need to use the game. And if I go at download the games, you have the links for Windows, Macs, Android, iOS, etc., etc. So it's a pretty good resources, or borealtales.info website. Always useful to go check it out from time to time.
We have one other question asking if the work syncs between devices. So everything is saved on the cloud. So even though you have to download an app, all what your students do, the game very regularly saves. So even if the kid forgets about saving, the game automatically saves very regularly, and it saves on the cloud. So you do need an internet connection, either in class or at home whenever you're using the game. So you have access to everything you've done so far. You have access to other kids' creations, and any device you go on which the game is installed, you will have access to all of your stuff at that place. Maybe I can add something. I don't think any question was asked concerning that, but it's very obvious for all of you, I'm sure, that kids are going to love this. But we can tell you that from this love and from this motivation, it does lead to results, because at the end of the day, you really want this to be a helpful tool so that the kids do better at writing. And we have a number of teachers that have commented on that, where they've seen a great improvement in both writing motivation, but in writing skills from their students, because the kids are very anxious to see their work, to see their work published. And they know that if they submit a work that needs a lot of feedback loops between the teacher and themselves, where they need to make corrections, and then they send it back, and then the teacher does correction again, it's going to take time before their work eventually becomes published to their class. And so they see that, and they want their work to be published fast. So they actually take the habit of rereading their text and making sure their punctuation is right, that all the verbs are correctly conjugated. And so they check that out before they send it out to the teacher the first time, because they want the teacher to come back and say, hey, great, I'm publishing this, so that all their friends can see it. And the teachers have seen that those habits that they take, they actually keep, because you're not going to have your kids write all the time in Boreal Tales. You're going to have them write on paper. And actually, once they've taken up that habit, they keep it. And when they write afterwards on a piece of paper, and they will keep that habit of reviewing their work. And we've had a number of teachers comment on that they've seen a great improvement in just the first draft because of the habits the kids have taken through the motivation that the game has provided to them in writing properly. There's one question: is internet required for playing after download? You do need an internet connection when you are playing, because if you are playing and you're not connected, well, then the game will not be able to save, and it will tell you so. So everything you would create would be lost. Nothing is the creations, your work is not saved locally on the device. So you do need an internet connection for playing. One other thing that can be done is yes.
You don't need a really high-speed internet connection.
No, that's correct.
Because when we created the game, one of our challenge was that a lot of school doesn't have good internet connection, doesn't have new device. It's often a slow internet connection on whole device. So it really has to work for the bare minimum, let's say. So you don't have to add a great internet connection with a lot of data. A really basic one will do the job very well. So just
yeah, that's fine. That's right. We mentioned we have reading challenges, so and more will be added. Actually, when the school year starts, there will be more that will actually be directly in the game. And so what a reading challenge is, and a teacher can also create a reading challenge. A teacher can log into the game using his or her credentials from the teacher platform. And once you do that, you're invited to create worlds and make them public or not. And those will be seen by your students, which can read. Your students can read those stories. And but for those that are the templates that we've already created and that you can select and activate, for those we also have a little quiz, comprehension quiz, for example, or little questions concerning to see if the students have understood the story and everything. So they can be very useful as well. There's another question here. As a French immersion teacher, can I set up English and French challenges in both languages for reading and writing? Yes, the game is, it's called Boreal Tales in English. It's called La Constellation de l'Ours in French, but it's the exact same platform. And whenever you create a group, you can select to have that group work in French or have the group work in English, and you could change that and have access to our catalog of templates in French or in English. So everything is available to you both in French and in English, and you can have your students work in either language. Yeah, I see your comment, Gina. Thanks a lot for your comments. Yes, we try to have we have a lot of teachers here in Quebec using it in social sciences as well, writing stories, what they've learned, how do the Iroquois live back in the day? How did the Algonquin live back in the day? And compare those two societies. One was sedentary, the other was more nomadic. So explore that and describe in your words, what you've learned in class. So you have them both writing and also you confirm what they've learned in social study classes or in history classes. So it can be very useful for both applications at the same time, actually. I see we have about 3 minutes left. Olivier, did you have something you wanted to show or mention?
Right now, I don't think so. I think it was a pretty cool overview of the game. That's pretty much it. Like I said, that there's a lot of other small feature, but I don't want to overload you with it right now. Really, the best ways to use it, and also to go see our tutorial on borealtales.info for more small specific feature.
Yeah. I think I have one more thing to add. maybe you are aware of this, but maybe not. EECD has purchased the application for all grades 4 to 6 teachers use for for the upcoming year, no problem, and for the following years as well, for I think a period of up to 3 years. So this means that by asking your representative from EECD, you will be able to get a subscription for free and use it in class. You will not need to purchase it, because you will find our prices and everything to buy the subscription, but this has already been purchased by EECD for grades 4 to 6 teachers. So it will be free to use and throughout the school year. So okay, I think we have 1 minute left. So I think thanks a lot, everyone. I'm pretty sure, Olivier, I'm sure you're agreeing with that. Thanks a lot for joining us. And if you have any questions concerning this, you can write to us, and we'll be more than happy to answer those questions.
Yeah, we are really responsive to that. info@nanomox.com or on our Facebook pages, Boreal Tales. We are pretty quick to answer you and to support you if you have any trouble whatsoever with the game. So thanks a lot, everybody. So that's it.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Have a nice day, everyone. Hope you'll enjoy.